Okay, so I know exactly why you were here. You were feeling lost, you're feeling lonely, you're feeling disconnected. You feel like you are surrounded by people who don't accept you, who don't understand you, who you don't resonate with. And you are wondering why you are having such a hard time finding your soul family, your soul tribe, the people who you were meant to be aligned with in this lifetime. A lot of y'all are struggling with difficult family dynamics. Maybe you've grown up in abusive environments. Maybe you're still in an abusive environment. Maybe you are in an environment where everybody around you is on a completely different frequency than you. They don't resonate with the spiritual knowledge that you have. They don't connect to or accept your perspectives in the world. Maybe you feel judged or persecuted for the way that you feel or for what it is that you believe or how you think. All of the things. I get it. I hear you. And I'm going to tell you exactly why you haven't found your soul tribe yet, why you haven't found your soul family, the community that you are craving, the longing in your heart that has been just calling out for years and years, maybe lifetimes. I'm going to tell you exactly why you haven't connected with them and how you will connect with them. So by the end of this video, you are going to understand what to do in order to find your soul tribe and your soul family. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have been here before, welcome back. My name is Andrea. I am an intuitive spiritual guide. I teach dark goddess wisdom. My channel is all about just extrapolating on some of the things that I talk about in my short form content on Instagram, connecting you with some of the teachings that I offer in my offerings, like my workshops and my one-on-one work, and just giving you a free platform for you to receive some of these codes that you have been searching for. So something that comes up a lot in my work is, where are my people? People want to know, where are my people? And I understand that struggle, especially if you are of an elevated frequency or a higher consciousness. Maybe you don't resonate with a lot of mainstream thought forms. You are feeling like a lot of the things that are talked about in the mainstream are just really, and I'm trying to say this without judgment, but I'm just going to use the words that are coming to me, but it feels beneath you. It feels like a lower energy frequency that you just don't resonate with and you never have. And so with a lot of the people that I work with, women specifically, they feel like they don't have that sense of belonging. I just worked with a client last week who was just crying about this. And she was saying, I'm looking for belonging and I'm just feeling so disconnected. I'm feeling judged and I just don't know where my people are. And I understand exactly how that feels, being someone who has always had, a different way of seeing the world. Maybe you identify as neurodivergent, whatever the case is. The reason why you have not found your soul tribe, your soul family, your community, the people who you are meant to connect with in this lifetime, it's because you are not being who you were designed to be. You're not being who you were designed to be. You are not being yourself. You are not operating from a frequency of authenticity. And what I mean by that is, because some of you might be saying, well, I am being who I am. And, this is how I've always felt, or this is what I've always thought. And I own that and I accept that about myself. And I hear you when you're saying that. But what I mean is, for the people who are struggling the most with this, they are not being their authentic selves, meaning they are masking around the people that are in their community. They're masking around family. They're people pleasing, over giving. I work with a lot of people pleasers, a lot of overgivers, a lot of empaths who self-abandon in order to feel connected to the people around them. So even though you may not feel resonance, because this might be all that you distort yourself or contort yourself or conform to your environment as a means of receiving acceptance. But you recognize on a deep cellular level that the acceptance isn't true acceptance because it's not rooted in authenticity. It's not rooted in truth. I have a video that I posted last month. This is January 2026. I posted this in December, talking about people pleasing and how people pleasing is a form of manipulation. And A lot of people who struggle with people-pleasing tendencies, over-giving tendencies, self-abandonment tendencies feel very lonely and disconnected because they are not being who they were designed to be. You are putting on a front or a mask or a performance to be something that maybe you were conditioned to be or trained to be in order to receive love. So this might resonate with people who grew up under a lot of religious conditioning, or just grew up in a family where everybody sort of thinks the same, but you've always felt different, or you feel like you're the black sheep of the family. And so you learned at a very young age, I have to hide who I am, or I have to pretend to be something other than who and what I am in order to receive acceptance and love. But the thing is, and this is the beautiful truth that I want you to really just breathe into your body, just pause and just take a couple of deep breaths and just listen clearly when I say what I'm going to say next. Your soul family, your tribe, your community exists. They are out there and they are looking for you. They are searching for you. They are waiting for you, but they cannot find you because you are not being who you were designed to be. You are not speaking your truth authentically. Maybe you are hiding yourself on social media. Maybe you have a business or art or some form of expression that is meant to be shared with the world, but you're not stepping out. You're not allowing yourself to be visible. You're not saying the thing that is true on your heart because maybe you're afraid that it won't be received, or you're going to be judged for it or condemned for it or shunned for it. A lot of you have so much wisdom and so many important things to say. There's so much of God that wants to be channeled through your vessel that you are not allowing to happen because you are afraid. So some of you are, maybe you are posting on social media, but you are editing yourself. You're self-editing, you're self-correcting. You are dumbing down your message because you want to be palatable to a lot of different people rather than honing in and recognizing that the specificity of who you are and the uniqueness of who you are is only meant for a very specific group of people. You're not meant to be palatable to everybody. So I'll use myself as an example. If you have seen any of my work on social media, because I here on YouTube, I speak a little bit more generally and I expand on a lot of the concepts that I talk about, but I still am very direct and honest about my perspectives on things. And on Instagram, where it's shorter form content, it's about sort of capturing people's attention in those first few seconds so that they sit and watch your 2 or 3 minute reel. There's a level of polarization that is more necessary in order for you to sort of like stop people in their tracks. And a lot of people avoid being polarizing. They avoid being specific in expressing exactly what it is that they need to say because they want everybody to like them, or they want to get the follows. They want to bring a lot of people into their world who maybe won't resonate with the totality of who you are. And you see this happen a lot with some creators who will grow really rapidly because they might post a few videos that do really well and it calls in a lot of people, but then their engagement drops off because the people that followed them for one specific thing, but it doesn't represent who they are. It doesn't represent the specificity of their voice. And so for me, something that I learned, and I've known this pretty much my whole life. I've always been a polarizing person. I've always been somebody that people just are really drawn to. I'm very magnetic, but in the opposite of magnetism is repelling. So the more you have the ability to magnetize and call people to you, the more you also have the ability to repel people. And you have to be okay with being repelling or being repulsive to groups of people. And that's just life. That's just the nature of being an authentic human being. So going back to what I was saying before about how your soul tribe, your family, your community, the people who you were meant to connect with, they're looking for you and they're searching for you. They just can't find you. They can't see you because you are not resonating on the same frequency as them. And so one of the examples that I love to give when I teach this in my work is I talk about frequency like a radio station. So think about not just a radio station, just the radio. So every single station, when you're turning the dial, or I'm sure showing my age when I talk about turning a dial, but when you are changing radio stations, when you're pushing that button in your car, or maybe you do have an old radio where you turn the dial and it moves to a different radio station, every single station has its own vibe. It has its own frequency. So I'm currently in Central Texas. In Central Texas, 92.3 is the hip hop and R&B station. And then 93, I think it's 93.3 is more like smooth jazz. Like you're going to get a little bit more like jazz or like soft Sade type music. And then you go up to another station, 94.7, and it's more like rock music or country music. So every single radio station has its own frequency. It has its own vibe. And so you are probably attuned to 92.3, which is the hip hop R&B station. But your authentic self is not hip hop and R&B. Your authentic self is that smooth, gentle Sade type music. And so the people that are in your community, your soul tribe, the people that you are meant to be in service to, the people that are meant to be in service to you, you're meant to form communities together to connect in a sense of resonance. They're on 93.3, but you're trying to be on 92.3 because that's where you were raised. That's how you were raised. That's sort of the ideas and thought forms that you were conditioned with, but your natural resonance is on the next highest radio station. And so for you to find your soul tribe and for you to find your soul family, you cannot access that frequency without embodying authenticity, without being who you were designed to be. So maybe you are, and you see this a lot with men, like, a lot of men are conditioned to suppress their emotions or completely disregard their emotional center. But a lot of men out there are naturally sensitive beings. They're naturally deep feeling beings, but because they're trying to be, the patriarchal idea or ideal of what it means to be a man or to be masculine, they are denying their natural resonance and their natural frequency. And the life that they're living reflects that. They're not calling in the aligned divine feminine partner that they want. They are meeting women who are misaligned with them, or they're having experiences where in their relationships with other men, they constantly have to perform this outdated, distorted perspective of masculinity in order to be accepted. But this is why they are so miserable. And a lot of men in the world are going through this. For women, it's the case of the people pleaser or the overgiver or the parentified eldest daughter who believes that in order for me to receive love and for me to receive family or community, I have to constantly be pouring into others, even though I have nothing left within my cup to pour from. And so the conditioning that you are raised with or that's instilled in you that is making you pretend to be something that you were not. And so when you start shifting out of that misaligned frequency, you start raising your frequency into authenticity and saying, I am a man who has deep feeling and I want to be in touch with my inner feminine. I want to cry. I want to express my emotions. I want to honor my sensitivity, and I want to call in people who also recognize that and accept that and love that about me. The more you allow yourself to be in that space of deep feeling, the more the people that are in your current reality will fall away. Those relationships will dissolve. You will have conflict. They will ghost you or abandon you, or all of the things that you're afraid of happening are the exact things that need to happen in order for you to find the people that you are meant to be in community with. And this is the reason why a lot of people stay stuck in relationships and environments that are misaligned, because they don't want to lose that connection that they have, even though that connection is inauthentic and it is draining them and it requires them to be in a state of inauthenticity. And so for those of you who are, maybe you're on a path of spiritual enlightenment, you're on a path of raising your frequency, you're on a path of coming into authenticity, and you're wondering why you're alone. Where are all my people? All of the friends that I thought I had are leaving me. They're ghosting me. They're not inviting me to things. I'm feeling very disconnected. This period of solitude that you're in is the state of recalibration. It's the liminal space of between the old frequency that you were resonating on and the new frequency that you are rising into. And so if you're in that liminal space of feeling alone, feeling like I don't have anybody around me, trust that this transformation, this alchemy that you're going through is creating the openness, it's creating the space for the aligned community to come into your world. I've been going through, I used to live in Los Angeles, and I left Los Angeles at the end of 2021 to build my bus, which I live in full time, and I've been living in full time since May of 2022. So almost 4 years I've been living full time in my converted school bus. And I've been traveling the country, and there's been, from the time I started traveling the country in 2022, and then I went to Costa Rica for 6 months, came back, got back on the road. I spent a lot of time alone. And never really feeling lonely because that's part of my human design. I'm a hermit opportunist, and watch my human design video if you don't know what I'm talking about. So being in solitude is sort of like a part of my baseline. But there were still moments where I was just feeling like, where are my people? Because I'm not going back to LA. One of the reasons why I left LA is because I was no longer resonating with the frequency of that environment, that city, especially because of all the things that happened in 2020 and 2021. And so I left, and I was spending a lot of time on the road, just recalibrating and changing my identity, shifting into this new version of myself that I've been growing into over these last couple of years, and not really having a lot of people in my closer sphere to connect with. I had friends that I could reach out to and like get on the phone with, but not having anybody on the ground, like somewhere I could just land and these are my people. But then what started happening was in 2024, I started meeting people. I met one person who was from New Mexico. She's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I passed through Albuquerque so many times living on the road, because every time I am leaving Texas or coming back to Texas, I take the 40 through Arizona and into New Mexico, going into Texas. And I always pass through Albuquerque, and I usually stop there. But Albuquerque was always just a stopping point. It was never a place where I would land. I'd be there for a day or two. So I met this woman from Albuquerque, and she was just like, and we immediately clicked, had an incredible connection. I knew, I was like, oh, there's something here with this woman. And she told me, she's like, you should come to Albuquerque and visit and spend some time there. I think you would really love it. And as a projector who waits to be invited, being invited into relationships, being invited into moving into new spaces, I sort of kind of kept that at the back of my mind. Okay, well, maybe. And went along with the rest of the summer, went to a friend's birthday party in Oregon. And when I was at that party, I connected with another woman who I'd briefly met earlier that summer, and she was going to a festival in northern New Mexico. And she said, "Are you going to go to Unison?" I'm like, "I don't know. I've been invited to Unison, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go." She said, "You should definitely go to Unison. You're going to love it." And so that was the second time I'd gotten an invitation to this festival. And I have a vlog. If you scroll through my videos, I have a vlog about my first time going to Unison. And I decided, after hearing it the second time from two different people, okay, I'm going to go to Unison. So then I went to Unison. And then when I got to Unison, I met so many amazing people, and they all live in Albuquerque. So I met this one woman in Arizona who was from Albuquerque who told me about it, then connected with another woman in Oregon who told me about Unison Festival in New Mexico, where I met this whole group of people who all live in Albuquerque. And throughout the weekend at this festival, I just kept getting invitations. People just kept saying, "Come to Albuquerque. You need to come to Albuquerque. Oh my God, you're going to love it. Come and live with us. Come live with us." And I just was like, okay, like I had never thought Albuquerque would be a place where I would land, but I decided to go. And then I went to Albuquerque, and I thought I was just going to visit for a few weeks. I ended up staying for 6 months and made so many incredible friends there, and people who, excuse me, excuse me, people who resonate with me, who see the value in who I am, the people who honor my work, my life's work, my soul mission, and not only honor that, but we're offering support. How can I help you? Let's host your class here. Let's set up an event where you can teach this, because more people need your medicine. Just not just seeing me, but holding me in a way that I hadn't been held before, especially in this work that I do and in the soul mission that I'm living out. And all it took was for me to leave my old environment, spend time alone in my own frequency, recalibrating, shifting my identity, trusting that my people are going to find me, trusting that I don't have to search for them. They're looking for me. They're looking for me. They're waiting for me. And staying open to the possibilities, not having a rigid idea of what it needs to look like. Because for a while I was thinking, well, I want to move to Austin. That was what I was telling myself. I want to move to Austin. That's where I want to go. And now I'm moving to Albuquerque. And it's because I allowed myself to just stay open to the infinite possibility. And I allowed God to guide me on this pathway. I let God put people in front of me that I needed to meet in order for me to realize that all of my people are here. They're out here. They're available, and they're waiting for me. They're waiting for my magic, my wisdom, my unique essence to become a part of what it is that they've been dreaming up for themselves as it relates to their own community. And so for those of you that are struggling, I really want you to hear my story and remember that your people are waiting for you, but they cannot find you if you are not being who you were designed to be, if you are not embodying your unique essence. Because if I wasn't showing up in spaces, showing up at festivals and gatherings and offering my classes and teaching online, my people who need me, who want me, who value me, who accept me, who love me, would not be able to find me. And so if you are struggling with finding your soul tribe, finding your soul family, finding that community where you will feel like, this is where I belong, I can breathe, I can rest, my nervous system feels settled here, ask yourself if you're actually being who you were designed to be. Ask yourself where you have self-abandoned, where you have been people-pleasing, where have you been holding on to the false conditioning that was instilled in you and installed in you that is in complete opposition to who you were actually meant to be. And as you start clearing away all of that debris, clearing away all of the things that do not belong to you, and actually showing up as who you were designed to be, all of a sudden you're going to blink and you are going to be seeing all of your tribe around you who are loving you and supporting you and are holding you. You are going to say, actually, I need to move to Albuquerque, or I need to move here, or I need to move here. And one more thing I want to say, I was talking to one of my good friends yesterday. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, but I've done so much creative work with her. She's an incredible photographer and web designer and director, writer, poet, everything. Her name is Alexis Dickey. And she does my websites, and I do a lot of photo shoots with her. And she asked me on the phone, she was like, because I've been missing her and she's been in Tennessee. And I'm like, I really miss Alexis. I think I need to go to Tennessee and spend some time with Alexis. And she asked me, she was like, where are you right now? And I said, well, I'm in Texas right now, but I'm getting ready to move to Albuquerque. And she was just like, are you kidding me? Because I'm about to move to Santa Fe. And I'm like, what? Santa Fe is only 45 minutes away from Albuquerque. And so I'm sharing this with you because this is the magic. This is the magic of what it means to live truthfully, to live in your authenticity, to be who you are, and what you can call in. I know that a lot of you are in environments that don't feel conducive to you, that don't feel supportive to you. And I understand. I've been there. And I need you to trust that who you are searching for, who you are longing for, they're also searching for you. They're also longing for you. And until you set yourself up to be brave enough to leave environments that are not supportive of you, leave relationships that are not supportive of you, or that require you to mask or be something other than what you are, until you get to that space, you are going to continue to feel disconnected from your people. But as soon as you step into your authenticity, you get online and you say the thing that you need to say, You talk about things from your unique lens and your unique perspective unapologetically, and you honor the truth of your voice, the truth of your artistry, the truth of what your soul mission is that you came here to live out. That is when your people are going to find you, not just your friends, not just your soul family, your aligned clients, your lovers, the people who are here to support you in every single way imaginable. Abundance in all things will find you. It will come to you effortlessly as long as you are being exactly who you are meant to be. I would love for you to drop down in the comments. Let me know how this landed for you. Did this shift your perspective? Did this make you feel like you can just relax a little bit and trust in the timing of your life, trust in the pathway that you are walking? Has it made you realize the ways in which you are not showing up in your authentic expression, not being yourself, masking as a means of maintaining misaligned relationships? Do you now understand why you have created an environment and a reality where you are disconnected from your people? Let me know down in the comments below how this landed with you. I really appreciate you being here watching this video. It is my deepest prayer that it helped you and gave you exactly what it is that you needed. And if it did, drop a comment, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, because these are the types of things that I talk about in my work. I'm here to help you and be in service to you. And I'm sending you so much love wherever you are in the world. And I will see you on my next video.